Okay, I want to do another video of my collection for Masterpiece Decepticons in their Hyper-Toon aesthetic as I possibly can get them. So this is what I have. Season 1, Season 2, and I'm still trying to sort out you know, this collection, what I want to have in this set. So let's go over them. So this is my KO version of Masterpiece Megatron. This one's a little bit taller. I think those legs are what make it a little bit taller. But this one also has the American sounds to it. Plus it has other sounds too. I think there's 4. So sound of shooting sounds. Let's see, what's this? Chinese sound, voice sound. So it's really cool. And then we have Dr. Wu's Dr. Archiville, which fits in very nicely with the Deformation Space Starscream. I like this better than the expensive official Takara because it's a little taller, and I think it actually looks a little better than Deformation Space Thundercracker. And hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll get Deformation Space Skywarp. And then I am using the KFC version of Reflector because after I was looking over them, it looks like this one's a little more closer to cartoon accurate than Fans Toys. Plus they are a little bit taller. That fits in nicely with these taller figures. Then we got the Robot Paradise Soundwave, aka Fans Toys. This is definitely Hyper-Toon, and I love it. And we got his minion Laserbeak, along with his other minions, Rumble, Frenzy, and that really nice Ravage. And hopefully I'll get a Buzzsaw, which will probably come out when they remake this into Sound Blaster. And then I decided to keep the official Takara MP Plus Shockwave, the darker purple, because I think this one's a little more cartoon accurate. And then I'm keeping the Fans Toys Insecticons with this set. I have 2 of them, and that's because Bombshell's gray chest does not turn purple when you transform him into his alt mode. So you need to buy 2 sets. And then for the Constructicons, I can actually still use the Takara Unite Warriors Constructicons. So here they are, and these look pretty close to the cartoon, and they fit in very nicely with this collection. But when you combine them, they don't really form a really big Devastator. That's why in this wrong background I have the Toy World Devastator, which, you know, this is nice, but there's issues with this, and plus this is not with the trending Hyper-Toon aesthetic anymore. This is very detailed, so it's still following that old design. And again, it's not Hyper-Toon aesthetic. For example, those knees should not be purple. It should be purple a little higher up to those hips. But for now, this stays with this set because of the large menacing scale. And just real quick, those are the mostly official Masterpiece. But right here I'm talking about my Hyper-Toon aesthetic, which I really like. So continuing on now to season 2, we have the cone heads. These are the old official Takara Masterpiece. Dirge, Ramjet, Thrust. So hopefully they are remaking these into more Hyper-Toon aesthetic. Because these are kind of like the older design, and they're not quite cartoon accurate, and the articulation, like those feet, are not very good. So for example, he should not be black, he should be a darker gray like Dirge right there. So hopefully Takara will be remaking them, and hopefully Deformation Space will be remaking the cone head, so it will fit in nice with this collection. But for now, I'm still using the old cone heads. Then we have the Fans Toys Astro Train. This is probably the best Masterpiece Astro Train we have right now. And hopefully they make the Blitzwing pretty soon. So then we have both triple changers. Okay, then we have the Stunticons. These are the Fans Toys. We're missing Dead End, and I think that's because Fans Toys is trying to figure out a solution to what they probably overlooked, which was the problem with having these combined to form Menasor. Because when you closely look at these, it looks like it's going to be too heavy, and Menasor won't be able to stand very well. But right now, these are the Stunticons staying with this collection. Even though I don't really like this Motor Master, because that forearm should not be dark gray on the sides. It should be all light gray. But thankfully, that's why we have the DX9, and they did complete their Stunticons. I really like this set. And it's hard to tell, but there's just some small little details that's not quite cartoon accurate, but for the most part this is definitely looking cartoon aesthetic. And I like the scale. Look at how they all line up very nicely next to Motor Master. And this is my favorite Motor Master. I mean, it looks really good. Like, look at that forearms, all the same color. So I think I'm keeping both of these. And over there I did spend a lot of time putting together the poorly designed X-Transbots Menasor. I'm not going to get all into the issues with X-Transbots, but I'm just going to show you that I did put this together. And you know, like a lot of X-Transbots, they look good. So this looks close to the cartoon as you can get. And height-wise, it's a little shorter than Devastator and Bruticus, but this is still close enough. And I actually think maybe when you think about it, he should be a little bit shorter. Because those are cars, those are construction vehicles, those are army vehicles. So that's my Stunticons and Menasor. And then we have the Combaticons. So currently I think the best Combaticons would be these by Mastermind Creations, and because they do look pretty close to the cartoon. I mean, look at that, looks good, even though I don't like that small cannon. It should be bigger. And then this was before the trending Hyper-Toon, so they still put in all this nice detail on here instead of that smooth look to look like the cartoon. But you know, when you overlook that and just appreciate these for what they are, they look really good. Even though I'm disappointed here that you can't put the Decepticon symbol there like it should to look like the cartoon. But this one stays with this collection because this is the best that we have of the Combaticons. Even though down here we have the Unique Toys Combaticons, which I think this was an earlier release, so this was when they were still kind of moving away from the Chug design. Still a lot of detail, still incorporating a little bit of their own design aesthetic to it, such as those hips should be gray. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with this set because it's still pretty nice, but these are my Combaticons. And then of course they have to form Bruticus, so I am using the Toy World Bruticus. And okay, I don't want to get all into it, but there's some issues with this, but you know, it looks good because of the large size, and you know, this is probably the best you have so far, even though it's not cartoon accurate. Like that chest is not cartoon accurate. That space shuttle should have purple on it. But this is the best that you have in this large scale. Plus other issues when you start manipulating it. These parts start popping off. It's not that stable, just like their Devastator. But again, when you want a large combiner, right now, these are the three that that's currently out there that fits in very well. So that's my collection, and here's my mostly official one, which is a little smaller. And I'm using the Combiner Wars with the Perfect Effect upgrade as the Devastator to go with this. But this is it. Again, this is my collection of my Masterpiece Decepticons that I'm trying to get Hyper-Toon aesthetic